Hi, friends. Welcome back to the season finale of Life with Loverly.
Who knew?
That's crazy.
It really felt like at the beginning of the year when we started this that I was like, okay, we're going through the end of September. That is a long time. We blinked.
Here we are.
Yep.
I mean, also, it's so much has happened since like you and I have been in the chair together.
For sure. For sure.
It was interesting the way that this episode worked. We did a lot of like batch recording, and then I had a lot of guests on this season. So some of that recording like happened throughout the summer.
And they were just so good. We could not have them all, you know? Yeah.
I know. I think I was thinking actually yesterday, I was like, there's been a few people that I want to like re-talk about on stories and be like, okay, guys, but like, do you remember that I interviewed this person? Because I feel like we need to discuss.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it feels very weird that we are the end of the season.
I know, but it is perfect timing because I feel like we have a lot of exciting things going on right now. So
this episode is going to be jam-packed with information.
Yeah.
Like y'all are about to get your minds blown, I think, just on everything that we have to talk about. So get a nice coffee and like get ready.
Get going. Okay, so you just got back from Paris.
I did.
Oh, how
Paris
exciting.
Was lovely. It's been like 3 years in the making, this trip.
Yeah.
So we've been thinking about this for a long time. So the whole reason we went was for the Paralympics. My brother is a Paralympic athlete. He has one amputation below the knee. He is a professional athlete. This is his 4th Paralympic Games. So we knew after he competed in Tokyo in 2021 that he was going to continue training and was going to go for the Paris Olympics. So pretty much since then we've started planning kind of in the back of our mind like that we were going to go. And we do all this planning, but he has to make the Paralympic Games. Like while you can plan for like years in advance to go to the Olympics or Paralympics, it all comes down to like qualifying,
and
you
it's
know, the
just
summer
a
of.
couple, I was gonna say, it's just like literally a couple of months, if not just weeks before.
Yeah. So we were all kind of like, okay, like hopefully he qualifies, and thankfully he did. So then it was like wheels and gears really got going, and we've had our Airbnb booked for like a year, our tickets, you know, we had all this like plan, but it was really getting into the nitty gritty. So that's kind of a backstory on why we went. And then we kind of just tacked on this awesome trip around his event. Because we were going to be there, and we took the kids. My parents went. Leah, who is Jared's wife, brought their kids and her parents, and then we each brought a babysitter with us so that we could really enjoy like parent time and kid time, which was such a game changer. I mean, that was, again, something we've been planning for years.
Right. And just having an extra set of eyes, like a lot of the time, especially in another country.
Yes.
Oh, I can't imagine with little kids, like the stress that probably would have been like not having another set of eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Samantha is our like longtime babysitter who has been with the kids for years. When we asked her last year, when we were like getting the Airbnb, I was like, okay, like, do you want to go? And she was like, literally, yes, I will like do anything. I was like, okay, great. So it was so much fun. I mean, and she's like my little sister. Mm-hmm. So really, there were even some times where Chris was like, y'all can go. And I'll like stay with the kids while they're napping because like I want to rest my feet. And I was like, great, we're going to go like shop around Paris.
Yes.
So it was so much fun. But having that extra set of hands really made it to where I could also like capture content.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before, but it's very hard for me to like, because I don't typically share my family in like most of my content throughout what I'm sharing. I am a mom first. And so especially when we're on a trip in another country, like I have to make sure their needs are met before I can like do my job.
Right.
And so having an extra set of hands allowed me to like know, okay, they've got hands held. I can step away and get a video of my outfit for a second. Mm-hmm. Or I can set my phone up on this windowsill, show what I'm wearing. And I know that like the hands are held, or they're not running into the street, or they're, you know, somebody is paying attention to them. So I can do that. So that's kind of how I made it work, because I just don't know how it would have just been a family trip. And if we got content, we got it. So this way we were able to kind of like double up, which was great.
Yeah. And Sam is one of those people that like, she deserves it the most. She would appreciate it so much. She looked like she was living her best life. Goodness. And her, like, oh my God, the socks and the shoes, Sam. It was so cute.
Well, and there was like one night we went to dinner a few nights and my parents were there also. So there were like a few times where like we gave Sam the night off and like we stayed behind and we're like, you can go do whatever you want or, you know, we'll go to dinner. But also, like, I didn't want to leave her, like, let her do too much by herself because, like, also safety. And, like, I'm like, you're my little sister, you know? And so she was like, I really want to see the Eiffel Tower at night. Like, is there any way I can go, like, when you guys get home? And Chris was like, looks like I'm going to the Eiffel Tower at night. And it was really cute because ended up my parents wanted to go too. So Chris, like, we kept joking that like Chris was babysitting all of us. Like he was like, oh, I'm taking my kids to the Eiffel Tower at night, you know, because he's like the logistics man. Mm-hmm. And we were just all his little like minions following him around. It was funny. So my parents and Sam and Chris went and Chris was like, they were all so happy, but there was only like the twinkling of the lights for the Eiffel Tower goes off like on the top of the hour for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
I think it's like there's a timing, like you have to hit it. And this was like the last time they were going to get to see it was in the time frame that they were going. And so Chris kept being like, we got to get there. Because my mom's like, well, look at this.
Oh my gosh.
We come back here, you know. And Chris is like, we are on a schedule to see the sparkling lights, you know, or whatever. And I stayed behind with the kids because I was like, I am just too tired. It was like midnight, you know.
Yeah.
But we got there. So we left Friday. We went Friday to Friday. We got there. The flight was long. It was like 9 hours. Thankfully, the kids slept on the way there. They did great going and coming back. Very thankful for that. And we got there and we stayed in a hotel the first night. Mm-hmm. And then we moved to an Airbnb because like I said, we booked our Airbnb like a year in advance.
Did you stay at the one that you booked?
We did.
And everything was good?
Everything was fine.
Not gonna lie, I was a little concerned.
So like 2 weeks before we left, I read some reviews and like of like recent people who stayed there. And I was like, wait a second, like Chris, or like, are we concerned about this?
Yeah.
Ended up being fine. We thought like it says like they all have bathrooms in the inside of the rooms, but it really was like
that sink
the
situation.
Sink and the shower, but the toilets were in the hallway.
Got it.
And so, but knowing that now, it made sense the way it was listed, but we just didn't. Like it was called something different that in the States we would have been like, oh, a toilet is in the bathroom. Anyway, it ended up being fine.
It was no biggie. Okay, good.
But I was definitely a little like, what are we getting ourselves into? So I was prepared to, you know.
Oh, it's all making sense now because you originally were going to go Saturday. That's why you had to stay in a hotel the first night. Okay, makes sense. I was like, oh gosh, she's in a hotel, guys. Something went down.
No. Yeah. So since we booked it so far in advance, we thought we were going to go Saturday to Saturday. And then as it got like we booked our flights like sometime this summer, but the prices were just crazy. And it was like thousands of dollars cheaper to fly Friday to Friday.
So weird how they do that.
I know.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of worked out for us coming back, getting home Friday night, because then the kids had the weekend to like get back on our time zone.
For sure.
So we stayed in a hotel and it was really close to the Louvre and just a lot of like everywhere we were was like super walkable. I know that was one question that I saw a lot. And of all of this stuff, if you're like wondering, is saved in some highlights on Love Really Gray's Instagram. So you can go back and like get more specific answers if you have any other questions or want to see kind of where we were. But there's so much walkability, restaurants and shops everywhere. The hotel we stayed at was one of the Renaissance hotels. They have a few of them in Paris, and I would have to go back and look at the exact one we stayed at, but it was right close to the Louvre. And we walked and got like coffees, and there were creperies and bakeries and like just restaurants and stuff everywhere. Yeah. It was very dreamy. And shopping, I mean, you couldn't, like, every time you left a corner, there was things that you could easily find. And the walkability, we did ride the train once when we went out to the stadium, but then we ended up like walking or taking cars. Their taxi system was super easy. There's an app you download and it's called the G7 app. And it's essentially like Uber, but with all their local taxis.
Nice.
And they were all so great. We would just go in the app and like find a car that had car seats, because they do have car seat laws. But it was so easy. Like the taxi driver would just like put the car seat out and you'd buckle the kids in and we'd go to wherever we were going if it was like we needed a car for whatever reason. But there was so much walkability. And then getting into our Airbnb was great. It was located right outside of Luxembourg Gardens, which is this like huge park area. You've probably seen the like little boats in the water that you like move the sticks with, like that was right there. Playground. There was just so much for like kids to like run around and get energy out. We had so many great restaurants and like little grocery stores and cafes like right next to our Airbnb. So like there was always something to go out and do or walk right around to. We did this, I guess, so we did the Eiffel Tower one day, which was really fun. And then we did, what did we do? We did a baking class with the kids. So we had some friends who went to Paris a week before us, and we were kind of texting with them because they also took their kids, and we were like, is there anything that y'all are doing or recommending? And they told me about this like concierge service that they worked with to book a lot of their things. And so I just reached out to the company. Is called Chocolatine, and they are located in Seattle. And I'll put their website in the show notes. I couldn't find an Instagram on them, but they they are like a concierge service for a lot of like cities in France.
Okay.
And so like we booked a car for like airport pickup and like departure through them. And then they were like, well, while you're getting this car, here's some other services we offer. If there's anything you're interested in, let me know.
Yeah.
And we had some like blocks open. And I kind of booked with them last minute just because our friends were there and they were like, we use the service. Yeah. And, you know, we're kind of just like playing catch up and, you know, oh crap, our trip is like happening in a few days. Like, do we have everything we need to do? So some of it was last minute, but I imagine if you booked a lot in advance, you'd probably have some more options. But they told me about this like kid-friendly baking class. And I was like, this would be really fun. It was like with a French baker. And so we signed up and did that. And it was so much fun. We learned how to like make French bread from scratch. We learned about the ways that you like fold it. We made like several different styles of French bread. We made croissants, we made chocolate bread, and it was all about like the history of this baker and how he does it a special way. He has a gluten intolerance, so he like really removes like all of the, you know, bad things from bread. Yeah. And then in France, you have to like French bread to be called that has to have like these 4 ingredients. So it has to always include at least that. But it was just like history, but he didn't speak any English. So we had a translator.
Oh, wow.
And he just loved the kids. Like I
was going to say, they look like they made a friend.
Oh my goodness. Like this man could have just been in our family after that. Like he and Hazel were just like connected. It was so sweet, but the girls loved it. And we were in an actual bakery. Like we're in the back, like baking, and customers are in the front, like buying the bread.
Wow.
So I thought it was going to be like, you know, kind of like a kitchen somewhere else. Yeah. And it was really right like in his shop, which was really special. And then we did another fun thing that the company booked for us. That was a scavenger hunt in the Louvre for kids. Cute. So it was a guided tour that took 2 hours, and she was she's from England, but she's lived in France for 20 years. Her name was Caroline, and she was so great. And she brought this book, and it was like a scavenger hunt that the kids, they basically would get asked a question in whatever section of the Louvre we were in, and having her just kind of like guide us around, you could spend a week in there without seeing everything. It was crazy how big it is. But we would get into a room and then there would be a riddle and they would have to solve it and then write it out. And then each of those answers put together some other clue, and then they had to go find something, and then they got this like little book on Paris for kids or something, and it was really cute. But it was a great way to like see the Louvre through like a child's eyes. You know, I mean, we didn't see everything. We saw like the main things that we would have liked to see anyway. So that was another, like, I would definitely recommend, and I'm sure you could just book that like through the Louvre's website, like with a guide. They just happen to have like that service as well. So I just did it through them, but it was a great experience. All of the trip, like any of those things you could book on your own. Right. You don't have to use a service. Chris booked the Eiffel Tower experience. You just have to take time to figure out kind of what you want to do, because Paris is so big. Yeah. I mean, somebody messaged me and was like, I'm only going to be there for a day and a half. Like, what should I do? And I'm like, I don't even know what to tell you, like where to start.
This is something like as you were experiencing it, because my friend and I talked about going for just a day on a train from London next year. And I was like, this is not the experience I was told that most people, like some people have. I only got like 2 people's experience and they were like, it's dirty, it's not great, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that is not what I am seeing through her eyes right now.
It was, so one thing people warned us about was like pickpocketers, and really all I did was every time we went out, I just made sure my bag was closed. Right. Like you just want to make sure that you're either carrying like a crossbody, that you are fully zipped. Because like, for example, one of my bags that is like sits at the crook of your arm that usually would be open. It's so easy for somebody to just like grab something out, you know. And even there's like people who work here who have gone to Paris and have been pickpocketed in the past. Like it's definitely something that can happen, but if you're just conscious about it. I also think like not looking like a tourist. Yeah. I really tried to blend in. Right. Like with the outfits I picked, I was very cautious on like what Parisians were wearing. And I felt like my outfits I had on were like what I was seeing around me. I also purposefully like put the girls in other things besides like athleisure. They wore like little sandals, or they had like other type of little sneakers. So while we were speaking English, they looked like they were fitting in with the other children that were there. Somebody messaged me who was from Paris that was like, thank you for, trying to look like not just wear like athleisure and like frumpy clothes, and I get like some people that's just their vibe, and there is nothing wrong with that. For me, I just loved like fitting into the culture.
It's part of the experience. I feel
agree.
Like, yeah,
but it also helps you not become a target. Yeah. Because it's so easy to pick out like, oh, okay, like there's an American, like let me just, if their bag's open, I'm gonna grab their cell phone out.
I know, I'm over here like, what is popular where in da 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 da? Yeah, because I just want to look the part.
Exactly.
Not worried about the pickpockets over here.
Yeah, right. It was just so much fun. There were just galleries. There was an art gallery close by our house that was like so cute, that had some beautiful like watercolor art in. I made an appointment at this designer resale boutique called Reese. They have an online website that you can buy things from their website, but it was such a fun experience. Just like a lot of it was like designer pieces from like years ago, or more vintage styles, or some of it was new. But there were some really great things that I scored there. Just overall, it was so much fun. We had such a blast. I was already like, I could come here like every year, you know? And they're a little, like, I would say they're probably like a year or two ahead of us in like design, decor, fashion. Although I will say, like, I wasn't overly impressed with some of the fashion I saw. Like, it felt minimal. but still really pretty.
That's definitely the phase they're in right now.
Yeah.
Basics, a lot of basics.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the design, I mean, I was like, oh my goodness. I see how people could get inspiration. We talked to a couple at dinner one night who they work in like the chandelier business here, and they go to Paris a few times a year and just do like studying like what is coming, because they're like so far ahead, and like how now they're making lighting that is like will be what we see here in like a year or two.
That's fun.
Yeah. I was like, that's really cool. My mom was like, you should go to Paris every year and just like call it like studying for like what you're going to share. I was like,
market research.
Okay. Twist my arm.
That's a great business plan, Sabina.
Yeah. I need to get her on the payroll.
Yeah.
So it was just so amazing. And then being able to, you know, add on seeing my brother compete in the Paralympics and being together with family. And this was the first time we've all been able to go to one of his events. My mom and I went to London back in 2012, and then he went to Rio in 2016, but that wasn't very safe. And there was Zika at the time.
Yes. Nobody went that year.
Nobody went that year either. And then 2021, COVID, still Japan didn't allow any tourists or spectators to come.
Yeah.
And so then this was really the first time that we've all been able to go. And so that was really cool just to see. And it brought back so many memories from my mom and I traveling to London together and then doing this like, you know, years later, here we are.
Yeah. That was such an amazing, just being able to like watch it from our end and see all you guys there for him. We were literally all on the sofas here at work. We were like, Jared's up again. Jared's up again.
Well, and I was trying to like, I was so glad I was able to like record it and post it on my stories as it was happening too. Because I know it was at like 2:30 is when it started back in the States, Eastern time. So, but like that's kind of the middle of the day.
And it's really hard to watch too, I think, from like the TV, because it's switching from one, you know, sport to the next. And like, you don't know if you're going to see it all. And at first we were a little worried, are they going to go back? Because it only showed him and the next guy. Yeah. Like the second guy. And then it went away and we were like, oh gosh, what just happened?
You have to like really watch it for a second. And then they didn't televise like maybe some of his jumps because they jumped 6 times. So it was a learning curve for us to realize too, because this is his first year competing in long jump. He's been sprinting prior to this. So I was just glad I was able to like share it. And so many people in the Loverly Gray community have been so supportive of just his adventure over time. I mean, we have a recent podcast episode that aired a few weeks ago. If you're like no clue what I'm talking about, you can go back and listen to his story, everything about him, and kind of like the Olympics and Paralympics and everything. But it was just really, I was so proud of him. I mean, he won bronze. I think he was, I mean, he's a little bit bummed. I think he thought he could do, he really could have won gold. All of the people who jumped, could have done a little bit better. It was a little cooler. It was later at night. There were definitely like, and that's one thing with the Olympics, like your event gets scheduled when it gets scheduled. Like you might have been prepping for it to, you know, and you're eating a certain way for your body and you have to do things differently when you find out that your event is going to be like the nighttime event.
Well, and you only have a couple days because they didn't get there very early. Like it's just a couple days to kind of get acclimated to being in a totally different time zone.
Yeah. So I think he was a little bit bummed, but my family, we were like, hello.
This is your first year doing the long jump, buddy.
When you bring it back and think about it like that, it is so like, oh yeah. But for somebody who just like is such a competitor, holds himself to like these high standards,
he literally
knowing what is inside him, what he could have done. I definitely see, but that's like not where we harp on. You know, I'm like, okay, but like you still, this is like so amazing.
Didn't he set a world record right before he went?
Yeah. Or American record.
An American record.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I know. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So I think there's talk of him picking it back up and doing LA. I don't know for sure.
Like, surely not, because even this one was kind of like a, I'm going to go.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I'll let that be his story to tell, but, you know.
He's got it in him.
Yeah. Oh, he does.
Yeah.
He definitely does. So, it was so great. And the girls were so proud of him. Like they would tell, like the next day they were like, my uncle won a medal, you know, because then we were like, yeah, this is why we're here, or, you know, and just very exciting. And it was just really cool.
That's really cool that they got to experience that whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, so we know you went shopping. What was your favorite thing that you purchased?
Oh, man.
I haven't had a chance to actually dig into this yet. We were holding our conversation for this.
I know.
She just got back.
So I found like a lot of good vintage things at Reese. I ended up finding a Hermes Kelly from like the 90s.
Wow.
And it is like a really pretty like burgundy with gold hardware. And it's
You're
a little
your
bit
pop of red for this season.
I was like, oh, and Chris was like, oh, it's a perfect garnet and gold for Florida State. I was like,
you're like, didn't even go
whatever
there.
you need to like,
didn't even think of that.
Give the okay. But it was, it's a little bit like more older and worn than like any of my others, but I like loved the character that it had. So I was kind of like, I don't really care. To me, it shows that it's
vintage.
Yeah. I always want to know, like, where has this been worn before? Yeah. And that's what I love about investing in handbags and, you know, just finding pieces that aren't brand new, but come from like a reputable source. So that was definitely, there was one bag I went to Reese to look at. I really wasn't considering purchasing it because it was far out of my like price range, but I was like, this is beautiful. But it was like ostrich leather.
Oh.
Yeah. Didn't obviously. I tried it on for sure. I was like, ooh, this is pretty.
Yeah. Was that the store that you sent pictures from?
Yeah.
So pretty.
It was like really cool.
Like the
inside.
displays were gorgeous.
Yes. It was like the showroom and you had to make an appointment.
I was like, she's going to end up with that mint sage green bag.
Oh my goodness.
I saw it in the background and I was like, that was gorgeous.
It's so funny. I sent that like same thing I sent you to Teresa and she texted me back, zoomed in and was like, what is this?
Exactly.
Bag. It was really pretty. I found a green suede Chanel bag. Oh my gosh. I was like, this is amazing. Literally, Nichelle is going to have to borrow this. It was so, well, suede right now is like making its comeback, which is really such a great material for fall. And then this green is so beautiful. Ooh, it's like a mix between like sage and hunter. Ooh. So it has like those deeper hunter colors, but like a little bit lighter, like a sage. And then it's got a gold strap. And that one is another piece that like, it's got character. Yeah. It's been worn, but I'm like, I love it. And then I found a few like home little accessories. One was this Hermes champagne stopper that has like the horse on it.
Yeah.
And it's like a silver champagne stopper.
Pretty.
And I was like, this is like useful. And I set it up over in the breakfast nook. There's like a perfect little spot. I just like put it right on top of it.
So cute.
So I'm like, okay, like I'll be able to look at this. Yes. And then whenever a bottle of champagne's open, I can just use that. And then there were just, I mean, so many just beautiful, like I could have spent forever just being like, what is the story of this? They had all sorts of like jars and just like beautiful pieces that you would never even think that you could get that were just
and I feel like because it's over there, you're going to see so many more of those pieces that are vintage and original. Oh,
and that's kind of the stuff that I'm like, I want to be able to like display it. I found this, so drinking espresso, like people don't drink like a latte or coffee. It's like you get like a shot or two of espresso and then you could like add a little creamer milk, but like that's what you're drinking in a cafe.
So you're not getting like a latte or cappuccino with your
you
croissant.
Can.
Okay.
And they did have cappuccinos, but
I felt like cappuccinos was the thing over there. Okay, yeah.
It is, but like there's not, you could ask for like, they call it American coffee, which is like drip coffee. But I found this like little pottery store, and it's actually like all handmade in Portugal. And I got a little espresso cup and little saucer that it sits on.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, instead of having like making a coffee in the afternoon, I'm going to like make an espresso and just like drink it out of that. And I found a few little cute like trinkets, some napkin holders and just different things like that I was like, this is gonna, I don't know.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I need blue plates, and
you'll end up with them because I feel like that's been a thing that you've been gravitating towards.
I know. I have found a few. I found like a vintage set on Etsy.
Yeah.
I need to keep digging because the one that I found that I love is actually more of like a tea set. So it's like a lunch style plate with like teacups and like a beautiful tea kettle. But that's not like, I would actually want like to eat like meals off of it.
I mean, the tea set sounds adorable. But...
I know. Not me being like,
do I need this for tea?
Yeah. Like, should the girls eat off? And then I'm like, bring it back. Like, let's
I'm like,
come back.
We need a tea set.
I know.
We'll drink tea.
So I just feel like there's so much inspiration.
Yeah.
Like I would love to just keep, if it's possible, just to like keep going back. Like, just, I mean, if you go and you can really take in the culture and sitting at a cafe and just like looking around and like absorbing how they do things. I mean, I think that's such the beauty of traveling. And I studied abroad when I was in college, and that was really the first time I went to Europe.
Yeah.
And I just remember even back then having the mindset of just, this is how somebody else lives. It's going to be different than what we do in America. Like, yes, there are not like everybody doesn't have a washer and a dryer. You know, you do have to do things different with the way you're like cleaning your clothes, or yes, the toilet is different location, but if you go into it with like, this is how other people live.
Yeah.
And I want to like spend this time soaking up the way they do things in their culture. You can just have a completely different trip. And so I really have always tried to like channel that. And then it's just, I look at these places like through a different lens, but then I want to bring some of those cultural things like back into my house. And
absolutely.
Yeah. It was so much fun. Like, I'm ready to book another trip.
Oh, so exciting. So exciting. Okay. Speaking of exciting, I love the whole Paris talk, but I feel like the people really need to know this.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay. So we have been working on something behind the scenes for, I think it really started about a year ago, maybe longer.
I don't even know.
So I have been partnering with Anthropologie since 2019, I think is when I got my first like paid sponsorship collaboration with them, and have been partnering with them every year since. And I've just been honored that they have loved coming back to, you know, cast me as somebody that they want to promote their clothing. They are a brand I love. I think they've got so much that works for so many different ages, body types.
I think you once referred to them as like almost like your one-stop shop.
Yes. Yeah. Like anytime I've ever had to be like, if I could only shop at one place for the rest of my life, like if you had to put me in a box, where would it be? And for me, they just cover so many bases. And that's, if I think of like what I'm going to wear, 9 times out of 10, it's like, oh, I have this like anthro skirt that's like that. And then this like fun, their stuff is just me. So we've been working together, and a dream of mine has been to do some type of like design partnership collection. We didn't really know what that would look like. And I've toyed with like doing a Loverly Gray branded collection or starting my own line. And for various reasons over the years, it just hasn't been really what I've like wanted to do. I love the partnership I have with several brands I work with. So I was kind of like, which ones really align with me? Which ones, you know, could we do something a little bit bigger? And so we have been working on designing 4 pieces This collection is coming off of the Somerset line that Anthropologie is very well known, and these dresses in the Somerset style is one of their like top selling styles.
It's a style that looks good on everybody.
Literally everybody.
Yes.
And it's a dress that I've been wearing for years. I mean, I remember I still actually have my first Somerset dress that I bought a few years ago. It was more of like a deeper fall print, really beautiful. And the thing that's so great about this is it's got this like it's a short sleeve, slight puff on the shoulder. It has a V-neck. It has smocking right at the like waist and pockets, and then it flows down. It's a long maxi. That was like their starter piece. Yeah. And then they've like built versions of this dress, long sleeve, short sleeve, skirts, pants, everything. And it is all so flattering on every body type. Yeah. So they came to me and asked if I would like to design a design for this Somerset collection. And then we would, start small, and then we'll see where this goes. And so we've been working on this behind the scenes for the last several months. Yeah. You guys are hearing this episode on the 24th, and this collection is going live tomorrow. Yay! So it is just, I mean, I'm just blown away. The pieces are even better in person than what we thought they would be.
They truly are. They took my breath away.
Yeah.
My daughter happened to be there whenever we were unpacking them while you were out of town. And I just got chill bumps thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. What was on paper does not translate to what real life looks like.
No. And I think when you guys see each of these pieces, they are going to be like the most lovely gray version of outfits like that you have ever seen. Like I put one of the dresses on and was like, wow, like this is lovely gray in a dress. Like everything about this is like exactly what I love, what colors that I'm wearing, what I gravitate towards, like. And they are pieces that you'll be able to wear like at least 3 seasons out of the year. So this isn't easy. Like you will have this if whichever of the 4 styles you go for, they will be a closet staple and will be something that you will pull for season after season. So I'm just so excited. It's crazy that it's finally here. I mean, I sent you a video.
Yes.
So I was out of town when they all came in. And so even that night, like I just closed the door.
Yeah.
I didn't even like go in there because I was like, I'm too tired to even consume, and I want to like actually like give this a moment. But then the next morning I was like, okay, I like really want to go in and see. So I'm like in my bathrobe, hair is like looking all crazy. And I go in, I like video myself looking at it for the first time. And I was like, oh my gosh, like tears. Like it was just so cool to see it actually like come to life. I mean, I am obsessed with the skirt. I will be wearing that skirt at least once a week, every week for the rest of my life.
It is so good.
Yes.
That was the first thing I tried on.
Yeah.
It is. Like, I gotta know.
I mean, the way that it hits your waist, you can wear a belt with it. It's my favorite style.
Dress
and the color is unbelievable.
Well, the special thing about these colors are they're your brand colors.
Yes.
It is what your brand is.
It's crazy. And that was one thing we were like, I really wanted this to be like a unique to me. And so a few years ago, and we redesigned our website and logo and everything, and really came up with these like colors that represent Lovely Gray. We have really tried to like thread that into everything that we do. And so for this collection, we specifically wanted them to only be from our brand colors. So literally down to like the color number,
the
shade.
Pantone. Exactly.
That's what everything is made up of, which is just really special because then it just all crosses together, which is a really fun thing. And it's going to be awesome for you guys to get these pieces in your hand. And then it's like you are getting this connection back to me. Mm-hmm. And I just think it just really means so much to me that it we are where we are with this. And I think there's so much more that can come from this. It was such an amazing process. Working with the Anthro team is unlike any other. I mean, they are on top of it. Every time we had a call or an email, they were just incredibly professional. And, I tried to offer that exactly back to them. And so I think that's what like makes this work really well is, I just being in business and treating this like a business, which you guys know I do, I think it's just like made this work really, really well. Oh, yeah. And they have just been so amazing. In fact, we're going to get to see some of them tonight, which will be really, really fun. But yeah, it's going live tomorrow.
One more sleep.
It's so crazy. Like, I feel like I'm not going to be able to sleep.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Hopefully after we party, it'll be
easy. I know. So that's coming, and I just can't wait to get these pieces in y'all's hands and see what you think about it. I am envisioning like family photos, like your Christmas cards with some of these pieces.
I hope they tag us in all of it. I want to see it all.
I know. I'm so excited and honored that it's finally here, and hasn't been something we've been able to talk about, but so much good stuff happening behind the scenes. Always.
Okay. So season roundup, season finale. What are some of your most memorable episodes that you've had this season?
Man, there's been so many. We've had a lot of amazing guests on. I love my episode with Dr. James. I think we keep reverting back to that a lot.
I think that The Office here collectively would say that's probably one of the like most, I wouldn't just say interesting, but it was like
eye-opening.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, just so a few daily like just changes in all of our lives. We've been like, that was because of that episode.
Yeah. Gosh, what else? I mean, even a recent episode with Olivia Adriance, like that was like just cooking and like it feels so hard to eat healthy, but having somebody who can give you a guide and like preps you with recipes, we eat a lot of her recipes, and it's really good food and it's not hard.
It can be tasty.
Yeah. So just like that type of thing. I think my episode with my mom was really fun. So sweet. Loved having her on the podcast. You guys always love when I do anything with her. I wish I could have her on more often. Talking with Laura from ESP, that was a really great episode. She's such a light in our community, and just being able to talk with her about the mission of ESP, and just kind of that conversation was really great. I don't know. I mean, there were so many great. Even Liz's episode from one of our very beginning episodes.
Gosh, that feels like forever ago. I know.
She gave some really great advice.
Yes.
Even like I still think back to some of those like nuggets of wisdom that she dropped that I was like, man, I needed to hear that today. I don't know. What were some of your favorites?
Besties, Teresa.
Loved that episode too.
When listening to yours and your mom's episode in the car, it was like, she was like, you know how your voice has always like been told to be soothing? Like, yeah. I think that about hers too. That's where you get it from. I'm like, oh, it's just like a hug.
I know. Okay, another great episode. This was really fun. Reagan, the Blooming Nest. Yes. She actually came to Athens and recorded with me in studio.
She's such a cutie.
And that was really fun because then not only did we get to like record a podcast episode for you guys and give you guys some really great like budget-friendly home decor hacks, but Nichelle and I went to lunch with her afterwards. And so we were able to actually like spend time with her. And I think we had just such great conversation there.
It's always so fun to have business conversations with other people in this space.
I agree.
Just that get it.
That's not always something that you can just like easily do.
Yeah.
The cheese gal, obviously, so fun.
Yes.
I like genuinely want to go have like wine and cheese with her and just be like, teach me about salt.
If she knew us going, Cheese Cow needs to be on.
Literally. It was like a light bulb and we were like, ding, ding, ding.
Exactly. And then recently, Emily Giffen.
Yeah.
We had our first author on the podcast. It's so exciting.
That was really fun.
First of many.
It was really cool just like hearing, you know what I mean? Like books and reading is, I mean, I feel like it's having like a moment right now, but obviously it's always been around and a thing. It's just being romanticized like crazy. Yeah. But hearing just about like the process and what goes into writing, I mean, you really have to like this isn't just like, oh, let me sit down and write a book today.
Oh yeah. It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Just from writing, number one, but deadlines and then being accepted.
Yeah. Just that was interesting to hear. Like, you know, she was shot down a lot and then like, you know, her first
here we are. She's
book is like
on everybody's bookshelf, you know?
Yeah. Another episode I really loved was Truth & Co.
Yes.
I thought that was because just like with, you know, this season we moved into our house and that's something like we've been working on for so long. And so to have our designers talk about the process and things that we did, just that we really weren't sharing or not that we couldn't share, we just didn't have the bandwidth to like only talk about the home, but to have a whole episode where we could really dive into that and talk about why. They posted a before and after on their Instagram the other day of the front room. And I'm like, this is crazy, the transformation. Like I kind of, because of, you know, we had the house and then it went down to the studs and then it is now. I kind of have forgotten what it was.
Well, it's so quick to come down. Like when you start that process, guys, that stuff will come down immediately.
Yeah. And then you kind of like forget about it.
And then it studs for so long.
Yes.
But yes, I was like, I forgot about all the dang wood in that room.
All the wood. Yes. And now I just love that room so much.
It's so good. And it pictures really well.
I know. It does.
Did you like my transition just there?
Yes.
That was my transition.
Good one.
We just took pictures in your house.
Yes.
Hopefully it's okay. I'm busting at the seams right now because I'm so excited about
like
this.
We said, this episode was going to be like dropping some serious knowledge on
y'all. We just did a photo shoot with some very different type photos, getting ready to relaunch this brand.
Yes. Life with Loverly is getting a makeover.
She is getting an overhaul and we're so excited.
Well, because we're going to be offering more than just a podcast coming up.
A podcast is just going to be part of it.
Exactly. So you guys know I have such a heart for mentoring and for business and for helping others and teaching others. And I have just really loved conversations like I've had with Reagan, like I've had with other business owners. And earlier this summer, we asked for people who wanted to get in this space to, you know, send us an email. And we picked, you know, a handful to do interviews with and give kind of like free business advice. Mm-hmm. And that filled my cup up in a way I just like didn't even know was possible. And this industry is so secretive. It's so hard. Sometimes you feel like you are just so alone. Because while these are very similar businesses across these social media platforms, it's all super personal to somebody's life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of growth in what that looks like. I mean, we have 10 employees in this office with us, and I'm like, okay, this is my life at the end of the day. Like it's different than like a boutique. It's different, you know, because like, yes, I'm styling and outfits, but it's like people are coming to me. So it makes it different across each different influencer's platform, the way they run their business, the way, you know, so it's very individual, but there's just so much room for where, hey, this is what's worked for me. Let's talk about it. What are you currently doing? Okay, what if you tried to do XYZ? And so we are going to have a side of the Life with Loverly brand that will be a mentoring program. And then there's lots more that's going to be spawning from that we'll get into later. But we're just getting a big facelift, and there's going to be a lot of opportunity for me to kind of teach and share and guide those who are in this space or wanting to get in this space. And we have so much knowledge and so many people behind the scenes who can help other people's people behind the scenes, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't have to be secretive for you to be successful. I think that one thing that we've learned, and I know that you, like you said, you've had so much growth just over the last, 3.5 years.
Yeah.
I remember me coming on even, it was very hard to be like, okay, here, I'll let you log into this and see this because it's, you know, it's just like, it's me, you know what I mean? But it's learning how to trust that others do have, you know, your best interest at heart, that there is a way to make it a business.
Yes.
And to make it successful.
And taking it to the next level.
Yes.
There's so many people who are in this space right now. And I know, as if you're listening to this as just a consumer, you know, to you, it might look like every influencer, you know, they know what they're doing. And that is not the case. So many of the calls that I've been on have just been like, okay, I just don't know what to do. Or like, what do you do about this? And it's stuff that I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
You don't have a vision in place? Like, okay, let's start there. Like, why are you doing this? Like, let's backtrack a little bit. And because it's so easy to, you know, become an influencer. It's so easy to start sharing. And the next thing you know, you've got a reel that went viral and you're tracking, and now brands want to work with you. And you're like, I didn't mean to fall into this.
Wait, I have to be a CEO. Wait, I have to have processes in place. Wait, I have to hire somebody now.
Oh my goodness. I mean, and things I've learned over the last 5 years, even 2 years, have just like shaped the way that we run our business, or mistakes that I've made, or things that I'm like, gosh, well, we probably should have been doing that, or I wish I would have done this earlier. But
yeah, it moves so fast in this industry. And I think that's the one thing I think that we've learned to pivot.
Yes.
If we fail at something, guess what? We pivot and we try again.
Yes.
And you can't get down because, I mean, again, the industry moves so fast. It's like,
and yes, I could talk about this for hours and hours. There's so many different parts of this that have gotten me to where I am today, but I think there's so much I can share and give back and help others get to their next step. So that will be part of our rebrand, part of what is coming soon. And then just there's even more we're working on from there. But
yeah, we're going to, and the great thing is during this podcast, we're still going to have those little tidbits of business knowledge that we still want to share with all of you guys who have been following along.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. Next season is already like in the works, and just what will be coming. We're taking a little bit of a break just to get through holiday, just to get some things going behind the scenes. But I think we even have, I was thinking about this when we were reviewing some of our favorite episodes, and I even think back to some episodes from like last season that I'm like, I kind of want to go back and listen to that episode with like so many different people. So I think we've got lots of really great content for you guys to listen to while we are off. We will still be active on Life with Loverly, showing behind the scenes stuff, talking about the website, showing more of the team, truly getting behind the scenes of Life with Loverly. So that will be a great place to like continue to follow along with.
This is the thing, we're trying to answer the need that everybody had over on Loverly Gray.
Yeah.
There were so many people. We do, surveys here and there, and you guys have answered saying, we miss just like, the chats that we used to have, or seeing you with your girls and stuff. And that's not going away necessarily. It's just Loverly Gray is a fashion style platform.
Yeah.
Where that is where your passion is.
Yeah.
And we want to keep it that way. Whereas the life part, all of that in between is just going to come on over to Life with Loverly.
Yeah. So it'll be a great way to just have them both in separate places, but get, for those who only really care about like what's going on behind the scenes, like I don't need any new clothes, or I like the way I wear my clothes, but I want to know more about you over here. That's sort of what it all started as. So we're just going to amplify what that looks like, which we're really excited about.
So exciting.
So thank you guys for another amazing season, for listening along, for downloading our episodes, for sharing about them, for engaging on our posts. Like, we couldn't do this without other people listening and being part of things on the other side of this. So that is a huge thank you to all of you. And I just am excited we dropped a lot on this episode. Head to Anthropologie tomorrow. You guys will get to see all of the things we've been working on. We'll be styling all of these pieces on the website as well. You will see my face, which is so exciting. So that is going to be really amazing. And then our new website coming out soon. So it's just going to be, we got lots of fun stuff. I can't wait for the season opener of next season because I can only imagine like what we'll get into.
We love to try to say we'll have a calm year and then we just put everything on the tail end of the year.
We don't know what that is.
We don't do small guys. It's boring.
All right, friends. Well, thank you again for everything. And until next time.